Hey guys, what is up? It is Raul here today, coming to you with Alan and Ned. Today we are talking about a few different things. Talking about the pursuit of happiness. Are we happy fellas?
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
It's sunny.
Happy as Larry.
We've got Sebastian behind the camera there.
Yeah.
We have Sebastian behind the camera.
And he is always smiling.
Yeah.
This guy knows about the pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
How are you fellas going? It's been a while since we've done a podcast.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
almost a month, I think. Yeah, things changed, you know. I haven't hit my PRs yet, so
Haven't? Yeah.
got nothing to talk about really.
Got nothing to talk about.
But today I did clean jerks, and I realised that my beard is getting in the way of the bar, of the path of the bar. So the beard has to go.
The beard has to go.
Now I already uploaded that type of video.
I thought the beard might have helped you.
Yes, so just a little bit. It's just a little bit too long, and then especially when you drop it down, you're kind of like
Raising it? No,
Yeah.
that's when you're trimming it. You just bring the bar down,
Yeah.
trim it as you go down.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides that, not much.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've been in a couple of movies. Well,
You've been in a couple of movies.
we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have. Has it been one movie or several movies?
It's a TV series.
A TV series.
So it's called Warpath.
Warpath.
It's about basically like.
Is it a TV series or a web series?
They want to be a TV series.
Whatever your TV
Yeah.
series. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And it's pretty serious production. Like. Yeah.
Is it as serious as this?
And next.
It's good change of subject. Yeah, fantastic. I'm good. I'm getting towards the end of the semester, end of the year. A lot of exams, a lot of studying to do. So it's nice to be out in this sun. It's so good.
Getting some vitamin D.
Yeah, that's it.
Getting lots of D.
Get lots of D, man.
So today we wanted to talk about, the pursuit of happiness. We're going to do a 4-part series on this, and the first part of, this series is to talk about maybe like different things that made us all decide to want to change careers or just change where our life was kind of directed or going towards. And maybe let's talk about a little bit about maybe, inspiring and helping other people who maybe are at a similar stage in their life where they maybe are pursuing a path that they're not the most happy with, or they feel like it's maybe a different path than they thought they'd be in their life, and maybe we can just maybe share what we've done in the past to take us towards something that we feel like is going to make us happier and more fulfilled. So
Well, they can learn our mistakes as well.
yeah, they can learn from our mistakes, maybe just learn what not to do. So
Definitely.
maybe let's start with you, Alan. You're back to studying, so tell us a little bit about what made you decide to follow what you're following now.
So, I'm studying. I'm at uni after being in the workforce for 11 years, I think I was. Same company. My change was a little bit forced. I had the company closed, so automotive in South Australia, all of it closed, and I was working in the automotive industry. So, and I thought to myself, I got work immediately afterwards. Place closed. I was working at another place within a week, and I was in basically the same field. And I just thought to myself, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this for another 10 years, or even longer. And I thought about what I was really interested in, and because I had a lot of interest in food from when I went vegan, I started studying it a bit more, and then I went, well, why not actually get a proper education on this? So now I'm at uni studying nutrition, and so my change was a little bit forced, I guess. It was also
that kind of like a blessing in disguise, or not? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I was almost done with the industry anyway.
Yeah.
And then I just got a redundancy package, so I was like nice and set up to really go in the path that I wanted, and not have to worry financially so much.
Yeah.
It was really good.
So you definitely were pretty fed up with what you did before.
Yeah, I mean, I liked my job.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have kept on doing it if I didn't, but at the same time, I knew that I was just going to be bored.
Yeah.
I'd hit that glass threshold.
Yeah. Well, let's say if you imagine yourself doing that job for until basically the end of your time, no way, like
No.
yeah.
No. I didn't have enough interest in it, enough love, and that's why I'm trying to find something, and hopefully nutrition's going to be it.
I think it's interesting because things are changing in general in the world, and having that job for 30 years or 40 years, it's not really like it's not just popular. It's not like people just don't do it anymore.
It's not really an option because the industries keep on. We've got all
Changing.
these all these
Yeah.
new industries popping up all the time, and each time one of these industries comes up, it's going to crush another one.
Yep.
So now someone who, unless you're doing something like bricklaying or electrician or
But then
a trade,
again, hey, robots, man, they've seen those Boston Dynamics. They can walk, they can jump, they can, they can pick themselves up from the ground. So it's
they're
getting
doing
there.
very well.
Yeah.
I think those guys in the trades have a little bit longer in
They got,
their
yeah.
careers.
But again, their lifespan, or like, their ability to work until like 60 and then basically fucking destroy their body and trying to survive on whatever they saved, which is maybe not enough most of the time. So
yeah, sometimes going back to studies, it's something you have to do.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the shit. Was like, for example, all the motor industry in Australia and in America, they're closing down the factories. They're not really re-educating people, so they end up kind of like jobless because they did 30 years of mechanical trade, and not even a trade. It's more like just kind of doing the whole, putting the door in, 1,000 times a day. Like that's all you know. That's fucked.
We'll give South Australia some credit. Employment rate has actually increased 1%. So the unemployment rate has decreased 1% from last year, from when the automotive actually closed. So they're doing a pretty good job.
Okay, that's good. Well, so that's a future.
Well, I think it's a big testament to people themselves, like who maybe were in some of those industries and like decided to actually go and pursue other things.
Yeah.
And I think that, maybe even like with your own story, Alan, I think that's really cool about you, that you kind of were faced with this adversity, like this obstacle in some sort of way, like, like this job that you've been doing for a long time, like that industry itself kind of like started shutting down, and instead of seeing that as like, like the end of the world, like you saw as an opportunity to go and pursue something that you already had an interest in. And I think that's like so much of life, and like being successful like in a certain area is going to come down to like
Not
having
being
the right,
a victim.
yeah, and having like the right perspective to like go forward with it.
Yeah.
It's like for a lot of the time we talk about mostly CrossFit, and I think a really famous story in CrossFit is Rich Froning, who was the champion for a lot of years. Like on his first ever CrossFit competition, he failed his rope climb, and he could have used that as like maybe a sign that like he was so close to winning that first year, like maybe it's just not meant to be. But instead he just used that as like a strength for himself to just be like, this thing happened, and like I just need to use it and make this rope climb like something that I'm going to become stronger from, not become weaker from.
Yeah. So taking responsibility for what happens to you, not like blaming others. Oh shit, like they put the rope and they didn't tell us or something like that. So you have to be prepared. You have to be like fighter, not a victim. And it's hard sometimes in life, but
yeah, that'll be hard because everyone's got to have different degrees of like like this occurring to them, like this becoming realizing that your industry is about to finish at the age of 30 is going to be very different than like realizing that your industry is going to finish at the age of 60, where you're dealing with like a whole new economy and a whole new world. And like you said, like there's so many different things that exist now that didn't exist before. Even right now, like we stand in a CrossFit gym, like this wasn't something that existed when I went to high school. Like this wasn't like, I remember when I told people like I'm going to train people from my garage, and like it'll be enough to like make an income from it. Like everyone laughs at me. They're like, that's never going to work. Like, like you need like you need a big gym with like 20 treadmills and 20 rowers and bikes and like, $1.5 million to like start up. Like this just won't work. But
how many bars did you have at your garage?
how many what?
How many bars did you have? How many bars you started with?
Two barbells, yeah.
So yeah, you can start with 2 fucking bars.
But not even that. Like it's
And a couple of plates, all right.
Started with like just foam mats and like a med ball. Like the original thing was like, and I think the thing we lifted was like I had a 16 kilo kettlebell, and like I used to have this rule that you had to be able to do everything with a 16 kilo kettlebell before you could go heavier. So like until you could do like overhead squats and like Turkish get-ups and everything, but you weren't allowed to have a 20, which is why
That's
we
actually
didn't
a good
have
rule,
one.
actually.
It was a good rule.
Yeah.
But like
Good way to challenge people.
Yeah.
16 kilo overhead, single arm, or double arm, even worse.
Yeah.
That's going to stop a lot of people.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about the 20 kilo kettlebell over there, the one that we
That's
don't
why I
have.
don't have it.
Yeah, there's no need for it.
It's locked away. I do have them. I have 24s, I have 32s, everything. They're just locked away.
Locked away.
You're not
Until you're ready.
You're not ready to level up. That's coming up for another podcast. But yeah, I think there's so many things that keep new things that keep occurring that we just would have never thought would be opportunities.
Well, I got something to say, like sort of related to that. Very interesting and direct kind of example. So I was studying the dental technology, which is like making dentures and making fake teeth and things like that. And so while I was studying, we had like an old school kind of things that appliances that we used, and then I kind of like halfway through the first year, it's 2-year program. So the second year, we're starting to hear that like they, now they can cut the fake teeth with the CAT machines. So it's like CAT milling and things like that. And by the time I finished, there was like 3D printing. Now I've gone like into the other industries. 3D printing started as like just plastics, and now it's like you can 3D print metals and ceramics and everything. So like in another 5 years, maybe you don't actually need to do any hand work. That's what we learned to do. We learned to do hand build like a crown made out of ceramic. Then you have to fire it. Then you have to paint it and make it look beautiful. And it does look very natural, because once you have the skill, you can make it really nice. And you can probably do the same with the 3D printing or with the CAD milling, but it's not 100% the same, because computer like that doesn't have that randomness, and like nature is kind of pre-random, so everyone has a kind of slightly different reaction with teeth.
Yeah.
So my point is, by the time I finished the thing, that part of the job wasn't pretty much available anymore. Like there's still people that do handcrafting ceramics, but like that's high-end shit.
And they've probably already been in the industry for a
Oh
long
yeah, they've been there
time.
for like 30 years.
Whereas you're trying to come into it, just finish your study, and then go, well, I'll pay, like, it probably costs you a bit more to do it by hand as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They don't have to spend. You can do it in you can mill it in 30 minutes, where like by hand it will take like an hour and a bit, maybe a bit longer, depends on the quality of the bridge and stuff like that. So you come out, even if you want to learn something, they'll be like, well, there's no point in me giving you like work placement, because I can do it for the rest of my life until like I'm 60 or 70, right? There's no point in me employing you or even giving you like opportunity to get good to employer, because there'll be no jobs anyway. I'll just get the CAD thing and I'll just have somebody painting it, which is like easy peasy. So yeah, like I was like, when I finished that, I was like, well, I did dentures. I did dentures for a year and a bit, and I mean, that was a fine job, but it wasn't really like, I was like a trapped lion in the cage,
You're a lion then. I can imagine you being
just
trapped
lying in a cage.
Just relaxing, just chilling.
Yeah.
It was actually a really good experience. I mean, I enjoyed some of it. It was quite challenging. It was kind of weird, like it was challenging on many different levels to, like, for example, mining,
Yeah.
So it wasn't physical, more like a mental challenge, and just being able to deal with the mental stress.
Yeah.
Being able to deal with person, for example, like, we have a job we have to finish for like 6:30 in the morning. Clients come up a bit early, and they're like, oh shit, like, is my thing finished? And they're like, well, we just started like literally half an hour ago, because like we didn't finish till like 6 o'clock the night before. We didn't have time to kind of start it. So you have to like do it in 30 minutes. And you have to like kind of pretend there's not a deadline, like there's no one sitting there. You have to like just do it really fast. But as soon as you go faster, you're starting freaking out. You kind of like, you can make more mistakes. So you have to kind of control that, and just going through that was like really challenging. Like, there were the times when I actually would like cry because it was fucking too much. Like,
Yeah.
like not all the time, but there was a couple of times where I just completely broke down. I was like, fuck this, I'm fucking out of here,
Yeah.
So you've changed up quite a few times now.
Yeah.
A few changes in your
Yeah,
life.
a few changes, so decided to change.
Yeah. So which one do you think has matched your personality the most?
The job or?
Yeah.
Well, I guess like what I'm doing now is probably.
Because that's what I mean by before. Like you said, you were like a lion trapped. And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of, I don't know, seeing you like inside of a dentist place, like knowing your personality. I don't feel like that does a very good use of like who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that probably did that dampen like the essence of who you are?
Oh, basically, yeah. Like there wasn't really. It's not a creative process. It's more like you have to be meticulous, and you have to do like everything by step. Even though once you start getting good at it, like, and I actually got pretty good at it. Like I was doing stuff pretty fast, and I could like get a little bit creative here and there. But it's more like just a process of a conveyor belt. Like it's just not something that I'm really good at. Like some people are actually really good at that sort of stuff. And I'm hats off to them, because this is what they're. But like as far as like being creative, and the other side was that the creating the fake teeth, like the working with the ceramic was a bit more creative, and you kind of allow a bit more time to do it. So that's what I was aiming for, and because that what happened, what I told you guys before, I had to take that job because there was nothing else, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that definitely didn't fit my personality.
Yeah. I think a big thing there to take away maybe it's just that you might have to try a few things to till you find the thing that
Yeah.
you want to pursue.
Yeah, yeah. And in the end of the day, because there's no fucking bullshit about this one. Like, if you're enjoying something, what you're doing, you're going to be really good at it. Like, not really good, but like there will be more opportunities to be good at it, and people will see that you are passionate about something.
Well, you're going to spend more time doing it.
Yeah.
You're not just going to, okay, I'm at work,
Just
I'm
grind,
doing
like-
it now, and then as soon as you get home, you're not even going to think about it.
Yeah, that's
you really
it.
like what you're doing, you're probably thinking about it outside of work
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
And you're probably thinking, oh, how can I make this better? And that's the big question. It's like, oh, how can I make this better?
Well, that's the question you want to be asking yourself, like, not every day, but, well, you can, every day, yeah. Asking yourself, like, how can I make my life better, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think that, like what you said, Alan, like, it's such a big point. The more, if you do like doing something, like, you're going to be doing it so much more, and you're going to get so much more practice at the thing. Like, you're going to be so much better at your craft, whatever your craft is, as opposed to treating something like a job that you have to do, where, like, you don't spend any other time doing it. And, like, the amount of hours you're going to, like, it takes time to be good at anything. Like, I think we can all agree on that. Like, it just, and, like, like, there's to be, to master something or get close to it. And, like, that's a long time. Like, and you're only going to master something quickly, like, if you, like, are passionate about it and are happy to put, like, the kind of hours that no one could ask you to put in. Because that's, like, the big key. Like, there's a certain amount of hours that no one could ask you to put in that will actually be the thing
you have to do.
That you have to do to actually be really good at the thing. Or in that, and yeah, like, I think that's such a big thing that so many people miss and pursue things that maybe they struggle with and they can't get the right opportunities because maybe, like, they're just not good at what they decided to do because they're not passionate about it and they hate it and, like, they resent doing it and don't want to put in the time it takes to actually be good at it.
There's a few, like, reasons as to why some people make changes in lives. Like, some people do it for money, some people do it for other people, like for recognition. But those types of things kind of tend to fade, I find. But if you keep doing something because you want to do it, that's going to make all the difference in the world. Because then you're going to keep on trying. You're going to do it outside of those hours. It's not just going to be when that person's watching, that's when I'm doing it, and then they turn around, they're not watching anymore, I'm not going to do it anymore. Because you're always
That reminds me of the CrossFit class.
Yeah.
I'm watching you guys, I'm watching you.
Yeah, even when you go around that corner,
Yeah.
I know what happens.
I heard that bar drop and not being picked up again. Yep.
Yeah, no, I think it's yeah, and I think it's interesting how different people come to that, realization, like, on their own, just at different times.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it could be forced.
Yeah.
Or, like, not forced, but, like, there's a kick in the butt given by the.
Yeah, and I think another
fortune,
thing that we haven't spoken about is that, like, I don't know, maybe just recognizing what you're good at and what you're not good at. Like, I know for myself, like, we all get kind of imposed these different rules and ideas, like, whether it's, school or following a trade or going to get a job, like, where you just get told, like, this is the path you need to take, and something inside you just knows, like, this isn't, like, what I'm meant to do. Like I remember, like, when I was at uni or at work, like, I had just constantly had this feeling of, like, this is not, like, what I'm meant to be doing in my life, or where I'm meant to be, like, where I'm meant to be, like, this is, like, bullshit, like, this isn't, like, this doesn't allow me to demonstrate my potential.
Potentially.
Like, and, like, if you keep pursuing those things and you don't, like, I think it requires a certain level of, like, having that feeling enough to just eventually make you say, like, fuck it, like, no, like, this isn't right, like, this is really wrong. It's maybe similar to, like, if you're in a relationship, that, like, you don't want to be in anymore, and eventually you get to that stage where you're like, nah, like, this is, like, no, like, I'm just wasting my time, like, doing this. Like, I'm not, not getting that fulfillment from it. But that can be really scary, like, and that can definitely, like, take a lot of courage and, like, self-reflection and self-thought.
And even it can lead you to going to see a psychiatrist,
Yeah, I mean, psychiatrists are, like, inquiring a lot with other people, like, saying, even just doing this, like, listening to podcasts or, like, videos or things of other people who maybe have decided to make a leap or create a change, and just saying, like, how did it go? So, maybe in the lead up to deciding, like, for you guys making a change in your life, like, what were some of the really scary things that you were thinking about, like, leading up to that point?
I mean, I had a lot of stuff in my life changed about the same time. Financial thing still there. I was just lucky enough to have a bit of money in my back pocket when all those changes were made. I was still worried about it, and then also, like, is there going to be work for me at the end? Like, I've made all this change, I'm making all this interesting decisions in my life to go in a completely different direction. Is there something going to be at the end of it? and there's still that thought up there. That thought's still there, but all I can do is keep on pushing through and try and make my way at the end.
But you know,
Any worries?
Sorry, I was
yeah.
sort of
So
in my
like,
head.
what was I guess some of the scary things that you thought about like leading up to the point where you're like, yeah, I want to change my life. I need to go in a different direction.
Yeah, I think I'll probably slightly same in terms of, I think, and that's a lot of people probably will say the same thing. A lot of changes happen in a short period of time that lead you to sort of taking that step, you know. I think I had a few things that happened in my life that kind of like made it urgent, you know, that changed, the want to change was urgent. But I'm thinking like, I'm in when I went to work in the mines, you know, when I was like 19, I didn't really think of like, fuck, what am I going to do with my life? I had a goal, and I was pursuing that, and the financial side of things was what was important to achieve that goal. And then when things changed, when priorities changed, when I grew up as well, I saw that financial situation, like that's not what bothered me at all. And like because of that change in the goal, I started to think, all right, well, you know, yeah, I can probably work in the mines for like the next 30 years. I can make a hell lot of money. You know, I can live in Perth like a yabby. You know, have a good time, drink VB or something. No, not VB. Let's say Imu something. Imu bitter.
I don't know. Do
Yeah.
people from Perth drink beer? I don't know.
Yeah. But like, I realized that, you know, that like, yeah, like there's something that wasn't right, you know, from that sort of midway somewhere. And then from there onwards, it's kind of grows in the back of your mind. You start questioning your life, questioning other people's lives, like, you know, and I'm not saying judging, but like, you know, just looking from a different perspective.
Comparing
yeah.
like your life to their life, yeah.
And like, you know, I was seeing the other blokes, you know, they've been doing it for a long time. I'm like, well, I can't be doing that for that long, you know.
I think that's a big thing. Like if you can look towards like the people that are doing like what you want to be doing, and you're like, when you see what they're doing and you like are really happy like with what you see them doing, like maybe people who are further down along the career that you want to pursue, and like they like have a life that you feel like, yeah, like I'd like to be doing that, then like that's probably like a good way to know like, yep, that's something worth pursuing. But if you look further down the line and you're like, nah, like that person looks miserable or they look broken or whatever, like then, you know, that might not be the type of life that you want to pursue.
Yeah, of course.
That is like one of the things I saw with some of the people in the same type of field that I was working in. I saw their lifestyles. I saw, I mean, they made a lot of money, but like the way they lived their lives, the hours they were working, what they were doing when they were working, and I just went, yeah, no. No,
It's gonna stay up for another hour.
not nearly that glamorous. I had a couple of very late nights, though. In the field I was in, I was on call with a customer 24/7, and I thought, is that really what I want? To be on call for something like that? No, not really. So in order to get to that top tier, I had to keep going and then be on call, and I didn't like that lifestyle. So I thought, hey, what else can I do? And I've looked at all the opportunities in the field that I've chosen, like nutrition, and they seem to be like all the people I see doing it seem to live lifestyles that I'd be, yeah, that's okay. I could be living that. That's it.
Banana girl, she's crazy.
She's not a nutritionist.
She's a YouTube celebrity.
She's a YouTube celebrity.
She's a celebrity, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. I think, you know, you get it in your back of your head, mind, whatever you want to call it. You feel it every day when you're doing your grind. Yeah. So, but what I want to say is that how you, like, it's fine, you know, we did our changes, you know, in mid-20s, mid-30s, well, like 30s, whatever. But like, what do you do if you're in a situation where you can't change? No, okay, there's more obstacles, like you have kids, for example, and the family relies on you as a financial bringer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can answer that, but I think if you have a passion for something, like, I think it's worth pursuing, and, you know, it's about figuring out, like, to which, and that's another thing, like, not everybody, I think that's something I see at the gym all the time, like, people just sometimes just find something they just love doing, and then that just makes them happier.
Like as a hobby kind of.
Yeah, like, it's just something that they become, like, that's something they are from now on, you know, like, when we see people, like, they get into CrossFit and they become a CrossFitter and they like doing that, like a lot of people don't have any grandeur, like ideas of like becoming a CrossFit athlete, but all of a sudden they just realize there's this thing now that's been added into my life that like
Makes it
contributes to my life and it makes it better. So I think if you're maybe sometimes you're stuck in a position where like you can't find something that you want to do that's gonna, you know, reimburse you in the same sort of financial way, like, and like we said, like at the start of this topic, like if it's the pursuit of happiness that you're after, like happiness isn't always wealth. Like having more money won't necessarily make you happier.
Yeah.
You know, like it's about just actually finding like the thing that you love, that you're passionate about, that actually brings you that happiness. And sometimes like it doesn't have to be a career. It can just actually be just changing your lifestyle. Like maybe you just like you hate your life because you're always drunk and you're always like, you know, like finding like, you know, like maybe you're always getting drunk because you're depressed, and like a big change that you can make is just like maybe stop, you know, drinking so much, and then all of a sudden you maybe won't be feeling quite as bad.
Yeah, and you stop riding that wave.
Yeah, you're not sick. It's like, and all of a sudden now you find that you've got more energy to do other things, or maybe like you've got really shitty people around you that like just suck, and like you need to just get rid of them and like
literally suck the energy out.
There's just like shitty people in life, like that just don't contribute and don't help you bring you up. Like be around people like when you positive, or like that don't judge you. You know, like the people that when you come up to them and you tell them, hey, I'm going to do this, like all they do is just be there for you, as opposed to people who go and say like, oh, you're going to suck doing that. Like fuck those people, you know, like.
True.
Yeah, there's constructive
don't quit your day job kind of thing.
The good people are going to be like, okay, have you considered this? Maybe we can work about how you're actually going. If you encounter this problem, rather than just going, oh, here you're going to hit this problem, going, oh, if you encounter this problem, how are you going to fix it? And maybe you should do this if you encounter that. And that's the positive person. It's influencing your life in a good way.
Yep. And constructive as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think that's a huge thing. Like, just, you know, I think a big part of the pursuit of happiness is just choosing the right circle around you that, you know, brings to your life and doesn't take from your life.
I guess just like my not problem, but like, you know, just that whole concept, pursuit of happiness. You know, if you guys watch the movie,
yes,
it's kind of like, you know, it feels idealistic, and like sometimes some people might think that being happy it's only for certain people. You know, it's almost like that kind of trend. You know, you gotta be, you know, you gotta change everything in your fucking life to be happy. But sometimes it's not the case. So I want to just talk about that other side of things. You know, like kind of sort of taking the ground from where you finished. Like sometimes. If you can grind through the day job, right, and just like, you know, feel just good about, okay, I've done my bit, you know, I'm good. Now you're going home and you have a hobby and you pursue that, and that what makes you happy. Like if you can deal with the day-to-day thing, then why don't you can do that. And who knows, because that hobby can become your new pursuit of, you know, that thing that makes you happy, or that thing that actually might make you money in the end, or like whatever, or make you more appreciative of other people or things like that, you know.
No, that's a good point. Like pursuit of happiness, as far as like something that you enjoy, doesn't have to be work. You might, like the situation I was in, like my job, I was okay with it. I didn't hate my job. I just didn't see myself doing it for another 20 years. And if the industry didn't close down, I'd probably still be there now, and I'd probably be finding a way to be happy another way outside of work. You find your hobbies.
There's no cookie cutter.
No, there is. Yeah. There isn't. We just happen to change our careers completely.
Maybe we're never satisfied. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's like, I guess to finish up and wrap up that point, like I think that's like it doesn't always have to be changing your entire, you know, work life.
World, you know, like yeah.
But sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes, like you said, like in the Pursuit of Happiness movie, like it's also understanding that, like, you know, to live like maybe the life that you think you want to live, like, and maybe this is like another caveat thing, like understand that like not everybody wants the same thing in life. Yeah. Like some people want to work all the time. Like some people fucking love working.
Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, like I love work. Like I fucking love it. Like I love to do shit. I hate doing nothing. Like I don't enjoy like sitting down for like 5 hours and watching Netflix like repeats. Like fuck that. Like it's just not me. But it doesn't mean that other people don't like that. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like a big thing. Like, you know, don't, you know, you might see someone else who's like doing something that makes always maybe get the full context of like some people are crazy. Like some people just like, you know.
I was thinking more of Alan Matthew.
Yeah.
Because he just likes working. He just loves his trade job, you know, like.
Yeah, like that. You know what I mean? Like,
he'll do like fucking 4 hours extra, just not because he wants to get the bonus, but like he'll just do it because he loves it.
Yeah,
Loves
he does,
being
yeah.
on the tools.
Or he'll help you out, like,
Yeah.
you know, like if you're
For
like,
free.
yeah, like
For a beer.
Yeah, no, not even that. Like he'll just come because he just likes to work.
Yeah.
He likes to be busy. Like I don't know. Like you just have to figure out. I think it's just about identifying like what do you actually like doing, and just do that.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty good place to.
That's good.
The good word. We'll wrap it up.
that bombshell.
Next week we'll come back. We'll talk about maybe some of the sacrifices and the different risks associated with the pursuit of happiness.
Yep.
But that's all for us today, guys. If you'd like to find us, where can they find you, fellas?
Lifestyle, strength and conditioning on Instagram and similar on Facebook. But yeah, he'll find me. I'll find you.
Oh shit.
That was creepy.
You can find me on Instagram, AlanDR24. That's about it, I think.
Cool. You can find me at RalCFDU on Instagram, and that is it.
Oh, you can find us at the gym.
You
And
can
of course,
find us at the
yeah.
gym.
CrossFit Down Under.
Yeah.
We're here. You know, one of us will be here at least.
Holden Hill, South Australia. Come down, pay us a visit.
You might even find Sebastian behind the camera.
Yeah. Thanks, Sebastian. You've done a good job.
And you don't want to
Thank
find
you.
Sebastian, he's too young.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening, guys. Take care and peace.
See you later.